We're going to be going over some of the features of the Empisal Dressmaker 120A. We'll be having a look at oiling the machine, winding the bobbin, stitch selection, etc. The Empisal Dressmaker 120A has 17 built-in stitches offering 32 functions, some of them including a 4-step buttonhole. You have your on and off switch on this side here. We have a reverse lever. This machine in particular is a front loader bobbin. We have our free arm. Our bobbin winder clutch is on our balance wheel. We also have a thread cutter and clip on and off feet. And of course, we have twin needle capability should you need it. Firstly, we're going to go over oiling the machine. So oiling the machine is part of routine maintenance, and it generally happens when I've just received my brand new machine and unboxed it, or I've been sewing for quite some time and I need to once again do a little bit of routine maintenance. So I'm going to start first by removing my free arm cover. And then up top here, if I do want to make it a little bit easier mobility wise, I might want to also remove the foot. I'm going to open the hook cover and expose the bobbin as well as the hook race. I'm going to remove the front loader bobbin by gently unhinging it from the machine. So open the hook race ring holders, one holder, the next holder. The hook race ring itself just simply slides out. There's no need to pull. It's not a rough motion. And then I'm going to remove the hook itself. A single drop of oil is sufficient and enables me to cover the whole back portion over here. So if I need to, I can turn my balance wheel to bring my needle bar down and expose it so that I can oil it properly. When I'm done, I'm simply going to replace the hook. I'm going to replace the hook race ring. I'm going to clip the hinges back into place and replace the bobbin. Make sure that the arm of the bobbin fits into the recess of the hook ring. You'll hear a slight click. And then also remember to put your free arm cover back as well. Next up, we're going to be winding our bobbin. So the first thing that I want to do is draw thread from the spool. I'm going to guide the thread around the bobbin winder thread guide. Then I'm going to take my bobbin and insert the thread through one of the holes in the bobbin, always from the inside to the outside. Hold it and make sure that it's steady. I'm going to place my bobbin on the bobbin winder spindle. Another thing is to remember that on a dressmaker, I have to remember to switch over to bobbin winding. There's a small button located on my balance wheel. With the free end of the thread held in your hand to press the foot control. Stop the machine once it's made a few turns and cut the thread close to the hole in the bobbin. Once again, depress your foot control and continue winding. When I'm satisfied, when the bobbin is fully wound, I can stop. Replace the bobbin in the bobbin case. Pull the thread into the bobbin case. Draw the thread underneath the tension spring into the delivery eye and leave about 14 centimeters of free thread. Close the hook cover and replace the free arm cover. Next up, let's have a look at changing our needle. So in the instance you need to change your needle or it is worn out, this is how it's done. Firstly, you want to remove your foot to make space for your fingers. And then you're going to lower your needle ever so slightly to make sure that you can grab it. Use the tool supplied with the sewing machine to unscrew the needle clamp screw. So hold the needle with your one hand and turn the needle clamp screw towards you or anti-clockwise. Make sure that you're holding the needle because it does come out very easily. To replace the needle, firstly you need to make sure that you have the right needle. Remember, needles are rounded on one side and flat on the other. The flat side must always face away from you. Hold the needle in place and turn the needle clamp screw away from you or clockwise. Tighten the clamp as tight as you possibly can. Next, we're going to be threading our Empisal Dressmaker 120A. So a good piece of advice is to always start with a foot on your machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my take-up lever and I'm going to clip my foot onto my machine. If you didn't make sure that your needle was in the highest position before, turn your balance wheel towards you. Next up, I'm going to pull my thread into my thread guide, and I do recommend that you use two hands to do this. You're going to draw the thread down into the tension area and around the check spring holder. Firmly draw the thread up and through around the take-up lever from right to left. Here you'll be able to feel the tension. Draw the thread down the slip and into the needle bar thread guide. Lastly, you're going to thread the eye of the needle. You may have to cut your thread with a pair of scissors for easier threading. We never ever advise that you lick or wet your thread. Now that we have thread in our machine, we'll be winding up the bobbin. Here we have our bobbin thread on the left and our needle thread in front of us. Always make sure that your presser foot is raised while you wind your bobbin. Hold the needle thread lightly with your left hand and turn the balance wheel slowly towards you with your right hand until the needle goes down. Continue turning until the take-up lever is at its highest position. Lightly pull up the needle to form a loop with the bobbin thread. For assistance, you can use a pair of scissors to help pull up the bobbin thread, up and out. Let's start stitching. So we're first going to start off with a straight stitch, then we'll do a zigzag and then a creative or a special stitch. So very nicely printed on the machine, we have this color-coded wheel that correlates with the chart. So let's start off with a straight stitch, which is a B stitch on this machine. To help you position your material, you're going to bring your foot down and remember to always start on top of your fabric. We don't start back here as a rule, and you must always be able to see your fabric through your foot. So on this machine, our straight stitch or stitch B is color-coded blue. Put your foot down, start stitching by pressing down on your foot control. Remember, you don't want to rush the sewing though. Make sure that you are guiding your fabric, not too much pressure, and don't let it go either. You're simply guiding it through. I'm also going to be showing you how to do a reverse stitch, and that's basically a reinforcing stitch. To finish off, make sure that your needle has been put into the highest position. If you need assistance, turn your balance wheel, lift your fabric and pull to the side. On this machine, very luckily, we do have a thread cutter, so you can just pass the cotton through the thread cutter. Next, we'll be doing a zigzag stitch, which is a stitch H on this machine. So once again, you are always making sure that your needle's in the highest position. Use the balance wheel if you need to. And when you're done, you pull the fabric off to the side and cut. This is your zigzag stitch. Here's the back. And this is the front. Next up, we're going to be doing a creative stitch or a special stitch. And then remember, if you wanted to do two colors, so let's say, for example, a red and a blue, on a special stitch, you could, because our machine does have twin needle capability. And then you'll see on the dial, our special stitches are green. So we're going to turn the dial all the way. And for example, let's do the N stitch. Again, we're starting on top of our fabric. We're going to put our foot down. And we've already selected our stitch, and now we're going to start sewing. When you're done, of course, remember, needle always in the highest position. Pull your fabric out towards the back, bring it across, and use your thread cutter to end it. Happy sewing!